Hey, this is Mike. I am in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting East Coast Honda, one of my favorite dealerships. And I'm checking out a 2016 Honda CR-V, and this is in the EXL trim level, which has a lot of goodies to show off. I can show you the big touchscreen, the leather seats, sunroof, all the cool stuff on the inside and out. So let's go ahead and check it out. As you can see, this one is in a silver color, and it actually has the alloy wheels in that matching color as well. 17-inch alloy wheels, and then you have four-wheel disc brakes with the ventilated disc brakes in the front and the solid disc brakes here in the back. You see it has the privacy glass in the back, and it looks really cool when you match the front windows with some tint. But check it out, it has this black plastic around the bottom, which helps out with keeping the car looking good when it gets dirty, because that's the area which a lot of stuff gets kicked up. Let's take a look here in the front. You have halogen reflector headlights for the high and low beams here in the front, plus the fog lights here at the bottom. And it has a pretty interesting design here in the front with the chrome, and then you have the black accents there with the gloss and then the flat blacks. Then you have an awesome emblem there in the front, big Honda emblem. Really sporty looking front end. Has the, looks like a pretty significant approach angle there in the front, which looks pretty awesome. This is what the key looks like. It's a key fob basically, with the Honda emblem on that side, and there is actually a physical key on the inside. You just move that lever over and you can pull the key out. But typically this is a proximity key, so you can just basically keep it in your pocket. You can lock and unlock the doors, you can start the vehicle and everything. So it does have some buttons here, the lock and unlock buttons and the ability to open up the trunk, and you do have a panic button there if you need it. So let's go ahead and push the lock button, make sure it's locked, because I want to show you how the handle works. So walking up to the vehicle with the key in your pocket, right now it's locked, so I can pull this to demonstrate that. But all I have to do is put my hand behind the handle, and it senses the key, it senses my hand, and it unlocks the door. It only takes a second. Now if I want to relock it, I just push this button. It relocks the door for me, and it's locked. So really intuitive way of opening up the door. As long as you have the key with you in your pocket or purse, you're good to go. So here's the inside of the passenger door. And then you have a pretty much everything black here, except for this perforated leather accent there, which is soft to the touch here. Then you have some hard plastics, but you have some metallic accent there, or should I say a silver accent. It's not really metallic. Neat little pocket right in here for putting stuff. I really like the way they have that there, more towards the front of the door. And then you have a bottle holder and a little storage space there. So here's your threshold, and check out that legroom. Plenty of legroom in this vehicle, and the way the seats are positioned and the way you're sitting, it just feels like a really comfortable chair that you would have in your house, except for better actually for me. So you have the gray leather perforated leather seating with some decent bolstering, and you know, the bolstering kind of keeps your body in place without being too intrusive, which I really like. You have some wood grain accents with some chrome accents as well here on the dash. Lockable glove compartment, opens up really slow, and it's all black plastic on the inside and fairly traditional. Let's take a look here in the back. You see it has the privacy glass, but let's take a look. Looking on from the outside in, can't really see in very good, but let's look from the inside out. You can see out great, and actually eases your eyes when you're looking outside, so you're not, you know, squinting from the sun and all that stuff. Really good privacy glass. So here's the inside of the back door, and you have that same accents there, soft to the touch surfaces as well. And then you have some pockets, not quite as much as the front, but this door is a little bit smaller. So there's your threshold, here's your back seats, and it's pretty much a bench seat for the most part. You do have a flat floor all the way across, and that way your center passenger has some place to put their legs without having to straddle a little hump in the center. You have the center armrest, which has some cup holders in case you have nobody in the center position. You can utilize that. You have some vents there, but I really like the way this floor is completely flat. Now, speaking of flat, you can actually use this space if you don't have any passengers here. You can utilize this space for cargo area. So all I have to do, this is really neat, all I have to do is pull this and watch what the seat does. Isn't that cool? I just pull that and everything does it by itself, so it's pretty neat. So now I can utilize this space for cargo area, and this is a 60-40 split seat to where I can utilize one side or the other or both for cargo area. And when you start folding seats down, it becomes very spacious for the cargo area. And it's really easy to put the seat back in position. And it's kind of spring loaded, so you just pull that thing again, that little strap, and it just kind of does its own thing, which is really cool. And there's another way to do it too. I'll show you that in a second. So here's your back. You'll notice has those racks there on the top, and then you can put the crossbars in place if you need to do that. So here's the back. You see it has the iconic CRV lighting there on the sides, chrome accent on the back. So let's take a look here in the back. There's a little button under here that you push and it lifts it up. It unleashes it, basically unlatches it. There's a backup camera lens right there under the Honda emblem. Here's your opening, so you have lots of room there for loading and unloading stuff. And the head clearance is really good, so you can stand under it really well if you're 6'1" or 6'2" or under. So here's your cargo area. You notice it does have a cargo mat in place, and if your vehicle doesn't have one, I highly recommend getting one. And you have some grocery bag hangers there on the side. You have a little net pocket here. And check it out, this little handle is awesome. So all I have to do is pull this handle, and it does that whole thing with the seat to fold it down. So like say if I'm standing back here with a huge box and I'm struggling to get it in and it's just not quite fitting, all I have to do is pull that handle and I can fold the seats down. I have one on this side as well for that seat. So once you start folding seats down, you have this massive cargo area, and you can also take out this shade. So the shade is removable by all you have to do is pull this back and then lift it up. So it's very easy to remove the shade as well. So in case you need some more height, you can easily do that as well. Okay, so under here is your spare tire and tools, and you can utilize some of that space around the tire for cargo area if you want. And then there's your carpet underneath the cargo mat. Also, I want to mention this vehicle was designed with the ACE body structure. ACE stands for Advanced Capability Engineering, and it basically, in a nutshell, the vehicle is designed with certain crumple zones. So like certain areas of the vehicle will be softer, and other areas, as far as the type of metal used, and other areas will be more rigid. So that way it can absorb impacts a lot better. The fuel door is on the driver's side, which is very convenient for pumping gas. It's right here, and it's a lockable door. Opens up like so, and you have the little plastic tether system here to keep you from losing it, and they provide you with a little place to hang it, which is awesome. So to start the vehicle, you just have the key in the vehicle, somewhere in your pocket, in the cup holder, wherever. You put your foot on the brake and you push this red candy-like button. Let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a little latch just above the Honda emblem, a little bit to the left here, so a little bit over in this area, and you just pick it up and over to the right, and it will unlatch. And the hood is fairly light, but it does require the prop to hold it up. So there's your engine. It's a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder iVTEC direct injection 185 horsepower engine with 181 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a CVT automatic transmission. Continuously variable transmission is what CVC stands for. I like the way they don't have it too cluttered up and cover it up with plastic, so you can actually see some of the engine here. Let's take a look on the driver's side door. You have the same soft to the touch materials there. Door, window controls with your automatic one touch down and one touch up. Door lock controls. Now you can lock out the back windows with this button, just in case you don't want your kids to play around with them and roll them up and down. Then you have your side mirror adjustments. You just pick a side and you can adjust it with this little pad here. Has a little tweeter speaker there in the door. Have a speaker there at the bottom. Love this little pocket right here. So let's take a look at the power seat on the driver's side. You have the adjustments down here with the lumbar adjustments, which is awesome. You really get the adjustments that you want when especially on long trips. Lumbar support is just really essential for me anyway. So your traction control button is here in case you want to turn that off, and then you have the ability to reset your tire pressure monitoring system with this button, and then the eco button there is right there, and this helps you get better gas mileage. And it tells the vehicle basically when you turn that on that you want to emphasize gas mileage and not so much performance. Okay, here we are on the inside. 2016 Honda CR-V in the EXL trim level with the leather seats. But man, the leg room, the knee room, all that stuff is awesome in this vehicle. Really like the way they have the place to put my left foot and just the overall smoothness. I don't know how to explain it. The way the dash and everything is smooth and out of the way, and the seats are very comfortable. I've got it lumbar set the way I want it and everything. But anyways, also want to mention this little pocket down here. It's a really handy little pocket and right there, so when you're getting in the vehicle, if you want to set something in there, you can put some change in there. It goes down a little bit to where change won't fall out. Okay, so here's the steering wheel. It's a leather wrap steering wheel with the stitching on the inside. A little bit of a bolster here in case you need some. Gives you the ability to basically hold it like in the 10-2 position, I guess. But also, if you're holding it like this, you have some little bit of a grip going up. Have a metallic accent there. Honda emblem here in the center. So there's some buttons on the steering wheel, which are a very good safety feature. I think it's convenient, of course, but the safety of keeping your hands on the wheel while you're doing stuff is really a big deal to me. So your cruise control is here on the right. You just make sure it's turned on. You can set it here, change through your speeds, and then you can cancel it. So on the left side is for your radio. You can cycle through, there's your volume there. You can go through your stations. You can change the audio source like AM, FM, satellite radio, Bluetooth audio, that kind of stuff. And then on certain screens you can push this button and it'll kind of cycle through some information there on this top screen. And some of the screens will have a menu that can pop up. So right now that screen has this menu. And so down here is your Bluetooth audio controls. So basically, when you're driving, once you pair your Bluetooth phone, not only can you listen to songs over wirelessly off of your phone, but you can also send and receive calls. So you can hang up with the center button, you can answer here, and you can make calls using the voice recognition. So there's lots of different things you could do with the voice recognition. In addition to make calls, you can actually change the radio station, stuff like that. So all these are really good convenience and safety features in my book. So behind the steering wheel on this side, you have your windshield wiper controls. On this side is your headlight controls. So you have off, parking lights, automatic, and headlights. And then you have your fog lights controlled here. So here's your gauges. So front and center is your speedometer. That big dial there in the center goes up to 140 miles per hour. And then on the left you have your RPMs. On the right you have your engine coolant temperature and your fuel gauge. But right here in the center we have a little bit more information: outside temperature, your trip, and your odometer, plus your average miles per gallon there. Now you can change that screen by pushing this button. You can get different information, like say your range, your average miles per gallon, trip A and trip B, and then your oil life. And then it cycles back to your original screen there. Pretty neat. So it has two screens. So the top one is for information basically, and the bottom one is your touch screen. So in addition to the volume on the steering wheel, which is what I would probably use, you have a volume right here, and there's a home button. So pushing the home button shows you this screen: your phone, your information, audio, settings, and your iLink, Honda iLink Connect, which is connecting your cell phone with this wirelessly through the Bluetooth system. So let's take a look at let's see if it'll show us anything on the phone. Right now, there's no phone connected, so we're just kind of get this screen here. But once you have your phone connected, you have access to your phone book and recent calls, call history. You can have your favorites there and call people, stuff like that. So let's get out of that. Let's go to info. So your info screen is going to give you information about your fuel economy and stuff like that, and also your trip history. Let's go back to the home screen here. Click on audio. So audio, you have different sources. So let's show you the different sources it has. Lots and lots of ways of playing music through the sound system. You have FM, AM, satellite radio, CD player, USB playing music on your iPod, Pandora, which is an internet radio service you can play through right off your phone, AHA, which is a similar thing. You can play music directly off of your phone through Bluetooth. You can also pair any other audio playing device that uses Bluetooth. And then you have an HDMI input, which is pretty neat too. So your CD player, you're probably wondering where that is. You push this button and it opens up, and there's your CD player back here. So that's pretty neat. And you close it by pushing this button again. It'll close it up for you. So down here is your climate control. You have a dual zone climate control with your passenger and driver temperatures there. So you can change the temperatures. You'll see the little number change as I turn the dial. And then you have the ability to sync both sides, so I can adjust this side and they'll both do the same thing. And you can unsync it by pushing this button, or you can just start changing this one and it'll unsync it. Like so. Fan speed is here. Mode is where you want the air to blow basically. And then your air conditioning, recirculate the air, and then your defrosters, rear defrosters, which also, this is your front, but this one also turns on your heated side mirrors. Here's your shifter. It's right here in the center, on this kind of in the center stack, I guess you can say, and it's away from the center console a little bit, so you can have a little bit more room down here. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse so we can take a look at the backup camera. And you can see the backup camera basically is a really wide angle view from the bumper to the sky all the way around, so you can see where you're going, so you don't really have an excuse if you hit something. So you also have those guidelines. There's other views though. So you have this wide angle view, you have more of a straight view, it's a little bit less wide angle, and then you have this straight down view, which is pretty neat. So you can see directly down behind the vehicle. So let's continue down. There's neutral, there's drive, and then there's a sport mode, which will emphasize performance, and then you have a low range mode, which will give you a lower gear ratio than it normally would, just in case you need some engine braking or something like that. So I want to show you on this side mirror. If you'll notice, there's a little bit of a distortion there on the edge of the side mirror, and there's a little line. I don't know if you can actually see that line, but anyways, there's that little distortion helps you see in your blind spot while you're driving. So it bends the light so that way you can see in your blind spot here on the driver's side. Now the passenger side does not have that feature. That side mirror does not have it. But what it does have is a camera which you can view on your screen. So all you have to do is, there's two ways to do it. One is to push this button here, and it will turn on your side view camera there. And that way you can actually see in your blind spot as you're driving, especially if you're considering making a lane change. Now you can also put the turn signal on. It will also activate that side camera. So that way, if you're driving along, you can see in your blind spot without, bending, breaking your neck trying to look over there. Of course, it's always recommended to, double check by actually looking, but you can get an idea of what's over there by looking at the camera, which is really cool. Okay, so down here we have your heated seats. You have a high and low for the driver and passenger. You also have a 12-volt power supply there. Neat little pocket. This is a place where I would put the key, I guess, if I didn't have my pocket. That's a neat little place. Then you have your cup holders here with these adjustable little things here that you can take out or put back in. Place to put your cell phone or something there, shallow place. Storage pocket there. So here's your armrest. It's a pretty decent size. I guess you can share it with the passenger a little bit. And it lifts up like so. And this is where you'll find all your inputs here. You have your HDMI and 2 USBs and a power supply there, plus some other storage space. So with all those inputs there, if you need wires to run in and out of this little compartment, you have this little place for the wire to go in and out of this compartment without being pinched by the lid, being pushed down like so. Okay, so let's take a look at the rear view mirror. It's an auto dim rear view mirror with little light sensors and stuff on there, and so basically at nighttime you won't have to manually flip it into nighttime mode. So up here you have some tap lights for the driver and passenger in case they need a quick reading light. You can also turn on the interior lights when the door opens like so, or you can turn that feature off. Place to put your shades is up here, and it has like a foam interior to keep them from getting scratched. And check this out, you lift it up and drop it like that, and you can have a conversation mirror, so you can keep an eye on all the backseat drivers back there. They give you a hard time. And your sunroof control is right there. So let's take a look at the sunroof. It has a shade which blocks 100% of the light. You can open and close that. Let's go ahead and tilt it up so you can see how far it goes there. You can tilt it, or you can open it up like so. And you can close it up, completely blocking all the sun if you need to. So here's your visor. It has mirrors and lights, and your visor's there. Let's take a look at the visibility in the back. Let's see if I can get you a good angle. Now I have one seat down and the other one up, so you get an idea of the headrest there and the ability to put the seats down so you can see a little bit better. But you can see pretty good. You have those side windows, and the back glass is pretty good size, so you can see out. And with the addition of the side view cameras and the rear view cameras and all that stuff, you shouldn't have any problems with backing up or changing lanes or anything like that. So anyways, thank you for watching, and thank you to East Coast Honda in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for allowing me to show off an awesome vehicle, and I'll see you guys next time.